Chapter 63. Female warrior flower thinking. Arrogant. With a cold shout, the black-robed man flashed out a black ghost streamer and summoned ghosts to attack. His complexion was grave. This youth in front of him finally posed a powerful threat to him. Kang Chon's body's demonic chi was volatile. It surged out along with the long black blade in his hand. Instantly, the long blade emitted a whimpering sound, as if it had come to life. The blade erupted with a black light, as if it had disappeared instantly in the darkness of the night. And when it reappeared, it was already forcing its way towards the black-robed man. Without the erosion of corpse chi, Kang Chon exerted his full strength, and this blade finally posed a threat to the black-robed man. 10,000 ghosts devouring souls. The black-robed man's eyes stared as he waved his ghost streamer, and countless grievous ghosts attacked, morose and terrifying. At the same time, the 4 zombies were also not idle, killing towards Kang Chon. The surging corpse chi was volatile, and the morose murderous aura rushed to the sky. Matching the scene of the mass grave, one could not help but be reminded of hell. Good timing, star-sucking technique. Kang Chon was not worried, but happy to see this. He forced back the black-robed man with a slash. Then he operated the star-absorbing grand technique. The huge demonic chi instantly broke through his body, forming a huge black vortex that swallowed him up. And at this time, the claws of the 4 zombies also blasted onto Kang Chon's body, and instantly, 4 huge strands of power and corpse chi came from the zombies. Kang Chon's body was instantly shaken. Even though his fleshly body was incomparably strong and hardened to block the attacks of these 4 zombies, he couldn't help but be a little shaken. However, immediately after, the 4 huge strands of corpse chi were like a great tonic, replenishing his depleted vital energy. The star-absorbing technique was in full operation, devouring the corpse chi coming from the 4 zombies. And then the black vortex grew rapidly, enveloping the 4 zombies together. The black-robed man outside looked at this scene in amazement, a bad feeling rising in his heart. Roar! The black vortex didn't last long, as a long whistle came out. The demonic gas dispersed, and from it came out a young man with a blazing demonic flame all over his body. His gaze was ice cold, and his murderous aura was nearly materialized. At Kang Chon's feet, the 4 white-haired zombies had already shed all their white hair and turned into rotting corpses, completely dead. How is it possible for you to do this? The black-robed man's eyes widened in disbelief at the scene before him. Die and come. Kang Chon approached step by step. A terrifying pressure swept out. After devouring the corpse chi of these 4 zombies, his true essence once again strengthened a lot, reaching the 3rd turn realm. The black-robed man no longer spoke anymore. He hurriedly catalyzed the ghost streamer and flew towards the sky to escape. Can you escape? Kang Chon laughed coldly and performed the heaven escaping hand. His huge palm broke through the air and struck, slapping the black-robed man down fiercely. Boom! A huge sound spread throughout the entire mass grave. In front of this terrifying force, the white bones above the mass grave were all blasted down, revealing a huge palm print. The next morning, the sunlight shone in through the gaps between the doors and windows, shedding a warm glow. Kang Chon, who was sitting cross-legged on the bed, gently exhaled a mouthful of tepid air and slowly opened his eyes. 2 purple lights flickered through his eyes, revealing an intimidating aura. Last night's thrilling battle had given him a lot of benefits. Not only had he gained experience in fighting the enemy, at the same time, the corpse chi of those 4 zombies had also allowed him to break through to the 3rd turning realm, and his whole body's true essence had once again solidified and turned yellow. The enhancement of his cultivation, Kang Chon's desire to form a Dan in his heart grows stronger and stronger. But in order to form the 9 transformation golden Dan, he still pressed down the throbbing in his heart and forcibly suppressed the breakthrough his cultivation. Walking out of the house, Kang Chon breathed in the fresh air outside and felt the scent of heavy iron city. In a few days, he would be leaving this city where he had lived for nearly 20 years. Last night, he learnt the news from that black-robed man that the bodies of Anti-King, the Grand Elder and a bunch of other Wong family members had already been transported to Fengdu Mountain, the headquarters of the corpse-catching sect. Regarding Fengdu Mountain, Kang Tian had only heard about it, but had never been there. In fact, he had never been out of the Heavy Iron City at all. He had only learnt some things about the Great Tang Kingdom from books. Fengdu Mountain was located within Fengdu City of the Great Tang Kingdom. And according to the rumors, Fengdu Mountain originally did not have a mountain in existence, but rather an ancient battlefield. And then a great war occurred, and the corpses piled up into a mountain, thus forming this mountain. Of course, rumors are rumors and should not be taken lightly. However, Fengdu Mountain is so gloomy and in the dark all year round that the sun can't shine in, that it is rumored by outsiders to be the entrance to hell. These were what Kang Tian learnt from the book. He was not too sure about the specifics. It seems that there is a need to go to Fengdu Mountain. I wonder what relationship father has with the corpse-catching sect. It's really puzzling. Kang Tian pondered in the courtyard. The corpse-catching sect's refining of zombies required first soaking the corpses in special medicinal water for 6 months, so he was in no hurry for the time being. Instead, because of that ghost face mask, it allowed Kang Tian to learn some information about his mysterious one. From the mask on the black-robed man's face, it could be seen that it was very similar to the one left to him by his father. So if he said that there was no relationship, killing Kang Tian would not believe it. However, according to the black-robed man, this mask, but all the disciples of the corpse-catching sect were manually one. And when they were walking outside, they had to bring this mask. This is the only information that the black-robed man knows, and he doesn't know any more. It seems that this mask involves a secret of the senior management of the corpse-catching sect. Kang Tian's heart was full of doubts. He felt that the only way to solve the doubts in his heart was to make a trip to Fengdu Mountain. On this day, Wang Tixiong sorted out all the properties of the Lin and Wang families, which were acquired by the Qianji auction house and exchanged for a large sum of spirit stones. The grandparents and grandchildren discussed for a while and decided to leave Heavy Iron City 3 days later. Wang Tixiong was prepared to go to a small city near Heavy Iron City, and then slowly traveled through the Great Tang country's cultivation world. Kang Tian naturally went to Fengdu City first, but he concealed the matter of the corpse-catching sect, not wanting Grandpa to worry. And the two of them agreed to meet up in the imperial capital 2 years later. Within these 3 days, Kang Tian used the large amount of spirit stones that Grandpa had distributed to him to have that Jinji auction house acquire a large number of precious medicinal herbs in preparation for refining higher grade pills. In addition to that, Kang Tian had also cultivated the thrilling Thunder Blade, one of the Wong family's 3 great mastery skills. His long black blade was a spirit weapon. It was too wasteful not to use it. But he didn't know the blade technique. He couldn't utilize the strongest power of this blade, so he was forced to cultivate the thrilling Thunder Blade. Even though it wasn't very powerful, it was much better than him chopping and hacking randomly. After ranging everything, Kang Tian and Wang Tixiong both stepped out of Heavy Iron City. On this day, countless cultivators of Heavy Iron City gathered at the city gates, and their grandeur far surpassed the scene of the Lin family's relocation at the beginning. Obviously, they were also very sorry for the departure of the 2 major Jidan stage experts, Kang Tian and Wang Tixiong. However, they knew that this small Heavy Iron City would not be able to trap Kang Tian, the submerged dragon, and they looked forward to the moment when Kang Tian would become famous in the Great Tang. Chona, let's part ways here. 2 years later, Grandpa will send you to the Heavenly Dao sect in the imperial capital. Somewhere outside the city, Wang Tixiong looked at Kang Tian with a kind face. A trace of pride flashed in his eyes. This grandson filled him with confidence. Grandfather, be careful on the way. The cultivation world is exceptionally dangerous. Unnecessary things. It is better not to interfere. so as not to cause trouble. Kang Tian nodded and reminded Grandpa in passing, "Brat, your grandpa, I am an old man. This sentence should be me reminding you." Wang Tixiong smiled and scolded. Kang Tian hemmed and hawed, and the atmosphere of parting was washed away. Wang Tixiong nagged again for a while before seeing Kang Tian off. Kang Tian ran all the way, not daring to turn back for fear that he would not be able to leave. Fledgling eagles must eventually spread their wings and fly. Wang Tixiong looked at Kang Tian's fading back, gently sighed, and turned to leave. Imperial capital, Jin family. As one of the 4 great families of the Dotong Kingdom, the Jin family's power in the Dotong Kingdom's cultivation world was so huge that every move within the Dotong Kingdom could not escape the eyes of the Jin family, even in the distant Heavy Iron City. On this day, in a small secluded courtyard of the Jin family, Jin Sanshao and Master Feng Yuan gathered in a square pavilion, sipping fragrant tea from the courtyard view and talking about the situation in the cultivation world. Congratulations to Sanshao for finally stepping into the Jiden stage. Sanshao has accumulated a lot of resources. As soon as he stepped into the Jiden stage, he directly had the cultivation of the 3rd layer of the Jiden stage. He's truly a supreme genius. Master Feng Yuan congratulated, a trace of envy flashing in his eyes. Jin Sanshao had practiced the 8 transformations Silver Dan, and once he broke through, he was at the 3rd level of the Jiden stage cultivation. And with the power of the 8 transformations Silver Dan, even Master Wind Edge, who was at the 5th level of the Jiden stage, was not a match for him. Master overpraise, compared to those few perverts, I'm still a little bit inferior, Jin Sanshao modestly said, but there was still a trace of excitement in his eyes. No matter how old-fashioned he was, the young man's competitive mind was still there. Wind Edge Grandmaster laughed in his heart when he saw this. Jin Sanshao's mind is even more powerful, but he is always still a young man. Then he smiled and said, "Doesn't Sanshao also say that they are perverts, and why bother to compare with them?" Haha, what Master said is also right. Jin Sanshao laughed at his words. Like today, the Taoist sect's disciple acceptance ceremony is around the corner. The cultivation world of the Great Tang country is surging with dark currents, one by one. Young masters are coming out, and some people have even given rankings. Master Feng Yuan proceeded to talk about the situation in the cultivation world. "Oh, there are all those guys." Jin Sanshao sniffed curiously. He had just come out of seclusion and was still not too clear about the outside world. Nowadays, in the cultivation world of the Great Tang country, the youth generation is led by the Imperial Capital 4 and the Great Tang 7, while the rest are not enough to worry about. Master Feng Yuan said, "The Great Tang 7, interesting. It seems that this Heavenly Tao sect's disciple acceptance ceremony is getting more and more interesting. I wonder what other little monsters are going to pop up." A hint of laughter and a hint of anticipation appeared in Jin Sanshao's eyes. By the way, important news also came from Heavy Iron City not long ago. Master Feng Yuan suddenly said, "Oh, what news? Is it about Chon Shao?" Jin Sanshao asked. Young Master Kang Tian has killed Lin Beishan, and Wang Tixiong has also broken through to the Jiden stage. Now both of them have left Heavy Iron City. Master Feng Yuan said, "Worthy of being young Master Kang Tian. He really didn't let me down. It seems like he's already storing up his strength for the Jiden stage. I wonder how many revolutions he has now." A trace of a satisfied smile appeared on Jin Sanshao's face. Third young master seems to value young Master Kang Tian very highly. Master Feng Yuan asked. Of course, there is a place for him in the future Heavenly Tao sect's disciple acceptance ceremony, Jin Sanshao said proudly, his eyes shining brightly. Grandmaster Feng Yuan was a little shocked at what he said. He had great faith in Jin Sanshao's I4 people, as Sanshao had never looked at anyone wrong. "Help me pass down the order. Send people along the road to protect Wang Tixiong. Make sure nothing happens to him. As for Kang Tian, Don't bother much, we can just wait in the imperial capital. Jin San Xiao turned around and left after saying that. Master Feng Yuan was pondering. Fendu City, an ancient city with a long history, was also one of the top 10 cities of the Great Tang Kingdom. Within it was the top workshop market of the Great Tang country, with many traveling cultivators. It was an indispensable city for the cultivation world of the Great Tang country. In the evening, the sun was setting, and the afterglow of the setting sun added a bit of bleakness to this ancient city, as if it was an old man looking into the distance with his hands in the air. At the city gates, pedestrians were coming in and out in an endless stream. Just at this moment, on the road in the distance, a young figure walked slowly, particularly eye-catching,